Wow, it's really good to be here. I just want to soak you all in. That's my favorite place to speak. And it's the energy that I feel here. When I just walk in the doors, it just feels great to be here. And so we're speaking about freedom today. My name is Christopher Brown, and I have the privilege of being before you. And the freedom to actually just be. Because how can you demonstrate freedom other than simply being freedom? So how do we be freedom? I had no idea I was going to say this. But how do we be freedom? If we just sit and listen without a thought, without anything else going on, what we're left is with this spaciousness. No thought, simply spaciousness. Nothing to inform us of a high or a low or a this or a that. There is that freedom. When there's no reference point to the way we're supposed to be, freedom exists in the middle of that. When I think of freedom, I think of little children just exploding out onto the playground, just wahoo, in their wackiness, and they're running around and spinning and twirling, and yet they're at school. School's serious, you need to learn, but the freedom on the playground, the explosion, and it's also enclosed with a fence. It's kind of like a prison. I know. But there's freedom there. Is it the circumstances, or is it the way we relate to our circumstances? Maybe that's what freedom is about. Maybe it's not about we have the freedom to move to this or that, or to do this or that. Maybe freedom is about being free from our own thoughts, from our own conditioning, from our own inner dialogue, for that which enslaves us within our own house. And isn't that our own thinking? Precious as that may be, it can be very damaging. It can be shameful at times. How is it possible to have freedom for our thoughts to come and to go through us, appear through us, move through us? Krishnamurti was asked, wonderful Indian saint, he was asked, "Why are you so peaceful?" And he said, "I'm okay with what is." As simple as that. He is okay with what is so in this moment. That's profound. How many of us can truly say that I am okay in this moment? Or are you okay in this moment if you don't think about it? See, it's like as soon as a thought comes up, well, what do you mean? I'm okay in this moment. Well, let me see. Let me count the waves here. I don't know what he means. It's like as soon as thinking comes in, the confusion starts. In Zen, they talk about the clear mirror, and immediately the dust falls, and the dust falls from birth. And unless there is a cleaning of the mirror, or a reflection back, a looking inward, we don't see the true reflection. All we see is the dust on top. Our dust of accumulation, our dust of years, the grit of the journey of life clouds our mirror. That's all it takes. We wake up, we blow away the dust, and there we are, this radiance. This radiance. So this woman was having, an older woman now, she was having a medical emergency. She hits the hospital, it's a heart attack. Wow, she has an out-of-body experience, goes up, sees God. God says, it's okay, you got 30 more years. She says, wow. Comes back, wakes up, says, I got 30 years. Well, I'm in the hospital. I think I'm going to get facelift, tummy tuck, a little liposuction. I'm going to get the works, baby. So she does. Gets a hairdo, makeup. She's leaving the hospital. She's walking out the door. Boom, gets hit by an ambulance. She's up there, seeing God again. She says, hey, what happened? You said I had 30 years. He said, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't recognize you. I know. But did she have the freedom to enjoy herself exactly the way she was? Or was she pulled? Was she in her own prison of thinking that she needed to be different in order to receive love, in order to be included, in order to be who she truly is, which is this radiance already? It's the same for a man who goes into that sports car dealership and says, I'll take that big red one over there. Does he have the freedom to say, no, I don't need a car. I don't need anything external to reflect who I am, because I am so secure in who I am right now. I don't need it. Ramana Maharshi, one of the probably most famous Indian saints, there was a seeker that came to him and said, I need to know about freedom. Teach me about freedom. And Ramana said, well, of course, my brother, no problem, but tell me one thing first. And that's, who put you in bondage? Who put you in bondage? Who has put us in bondage? Oh, man. Friday, I'm working on a foundation job, and it's not going well. And I'm going to be pouring on Wednesday, and it's Friday afternoon, it's late, and I'm tired, and I'm getting cranky, and I realize there's 2 or 3 more days that it's going to happen, and I'm upset. And I'm sitting there stewing. I know this has probably never happened to anybody else, but I'm stewing in my own juices now. I'm like, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm being really spiritual right now, aren't I? And I'm going to be talking about freedom. Where's the freedom from my own upset? I put myself in bondage over not accepting what was going on in the moment. I was fighting what was going on. Wow. But speaking it out loud made a difference. Actually claiming it, owning it. Okay, I'm cranky right now. I'm pissed. Can I be okay with that? Like Krishnamurti, can I be okay with that? I'm giving a talk on this, for God's sakes, I better be okay with it. And the funny thing is speaking it out loud, I started to laugh. I'm going, okay, I'm in bondage right now, and I'm okay with it. Both can be true. We can realize our radiance, and we can be cranky at the same time. Well, who knew? But that's the freedom. When we allow ourselves the freedom to be exactly as we are and as we're not. Wow, that's really, really powerful. And that's an inside job. There's only certain doors that can be opened. And this is an inside door. This is a door that only can be opened from the inside. And that takes reflection and looking deep as to what is happening now. Not in the future, not in the past, but now. And that's a piece of work because the mind's not geared for now. It's always in activity. See, are you in charge of your mind truly, or is the mind kind of in charge of you, thinking you in a sense? Can you tell me what your next thought's going to be? I don't know, but they come. And this is that really important thing, to slow things down. To slow things down so precisely that you can watch a thought come up, it moves, and it falls away. And I know those of you who meditated have watched that. Gee, where did that thought come from? And there it goes. So there's the secret here. In terms of living a joyous life, we need to be very careful on what thoughts we animate, we give power to. Because thoughts they have their own, they're causative. They have their own power. They have their own time. They come up and they're kind of like capsules. If we feed into the capsule, we make it stronger. This is kind of like a unity principle here. Our thoughts are creative. We are what we think, having become what we have thought. So is our thinking, our accumulation of thinking for all of this time has led us to where we are right now. And if we would like to change that, improve, expand that, what's going to mean is going to mean a different habit of thinking. Oh, that sounds like work. But let's take a look at it. Here's a wonderful quote from somebody here. I wonder who it is. Your experience of freedom and happiness is in direct proportion to your ability to accept this moment right now. We're going to slow that down again. Your ability to experience happiness, freedom, joy is in direct proportion to how accepting you are to right now. This moment, this precious moment. So it's really freedom, acceptance. Yeah, it's kind of like it's a no-brainer. They go together. No kidding. So acceptance is really the piece that we work on. How do we accept this? How do I accept my thinking, my thoughts, especially my neighbors? Oy. So that's the inside job, is the looking at acceptance. There's another. The Serenity Prayer is another great reminder. I know those of you who have been 12-step know all about the Serenity Prayer. And it's based on that acceptance. It goes, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. We're going to repeat that, because I need to hear it again and again. God, grant me the serenity. You can say it out loud. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you. I needed that. It all boils down to that acceptance of us exactly the way we are. And so imagine yourself in this vast ocean, this wonderful vast ocean. It's beautiful, you're in a wonderful boat, the sun is just right, the waves are perfect, it's just perfect. And you're sitting there and there's nobody for hundreds of miles, and it's just exquisite. And in this state of bliss, you're really listening well. You're feeling the rhythm of the water, of life as it moves. All of the planet, it's in harmony. Except you're hearing a little noise. And you wonder, what is that noise? You listen a little closer, it's the waves. And the waves are talking to one another. In fact, they're quarreling with one another. You get out of my way. No, this is my territory. You move. I'm an important wave. Oh, no, you're not. And back and forth they squabble with one another, and you go, oh, what's happening here? And you get up and you're kind of like, okay, waves, cool it. Hey, what's going on here? Who's in my way? No, stop it. What are you guys really quarreling about? Well, I'm an important wave. And the other one's, well, I'm an important wave too. And they're quarreling back and forth. And so finally, you say to them, why don't you just calm down? And you're always looking at one another and outside of yourself. Why not look inside yourself? Why not look deep? And see if you can find the border between yourself and the ocean. See if you can find the border between yourself and your neighbor. Can you do that for me? Well, maybe okay. We'll try. And so they went and they turned down inside. And all of that peace returned to you. And it's like, oh yes, the waves are looking. And it's calm and it's quiet. And it's really calm and it's really quiet. It's like, wow, this is pretty amazing. And then the waves, their little wave heads pop back up again and they start talking to you, of course. And they said, oh wow, thank you. We couldn't find any separation. We realized that we are so connected, so there is no border. We just didn't know it. We were only looking on the outside. So that's kind of our lesson for today. The fact that when we look inside, that energy that sustains us, that incredible energy that is the sustainer of all of life, we are so connected and interwoven with that when we look inside, that door that we can only open from the inside. And that is true freedom, is knowing our interconnectedness, our oneness, our amazing beauty and grace, which is ours by birthright. It has always been. So the invitation today is to live from that place. Also to take the workshop afterwards. But we'll continue this conversation. But to live from that place of knowing that you have always been free. Outside of a thought, your freedom is total. And if you want a refresher, just and you're free again. Thank you so much for having me here today.